Okay, good afternoon, everyone. I would like to thank the organizers and the jury for selecting us to present today. My name is Pierre-Axel Monternier. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Reventus Pharma, a biopharmaceutical startup developing small molecules. We are located in Lyon, one of the largest biotech hubs in France, and we are targeting rare mitochondrial diseases through strategic repositioning. Before going any further, I would like you to take a step back to earlier this morning when you were still in your bed and when you just woke up. And imagine that even after a full night rest, you felt completely exhausted. Even preparing your breakfast drained your energy. Later, during the day, when you wanted to discuss with your colleagues, you had a really hard time to follow the conversation. And let's imagine that tonight you want to go out for a bike ride, but half the way through you have to stop because your muscles fail you. What I just described could be seen as one bad day for us among other good ones, but it's the daily life of patients suffering from MELAS syndrome, a rare mitochondrial disease that has no treatment approved, but mainly management of symptoms. And so it's important to understand why this group of diseases, pharmaceutical industry fails them. Because new chemical entity development requires a lot of time, a lot of money, and has a high risk of failure. And even drug repurposing, that represents a tremendous opportunity for this disease by reusing existing drugs, does not fully alleviate the clinical and the commercial constraints of drug development, and still requires a lot of time, a lot of money, and still has a high risk of failure, making these two business models not fitting with the rare disease market. At Reventus, we are working on drug repositioning, allowing us to significantly reduce the time, the cost of development, but also the risk of development. Therefore, we have assets with high clinical and commercial value fitting with the rare disease market. So how do we do that? We are using a disease-specific process to identify our asset for repositioning. We have 3 steps. Step 1 is an in silico analysis assisted by AI, where we map the disease, we map the qualified drugs, and we simulate their potency for this given disease. We are using a disease-specific analysis, giving to our selected drugs a high scientific relevance. The step 2 is to work on these selected drugs and to perform a medical, economic, and strategic assessment, looking at patent history, clinical development, but also the business intelligence on the owner of the drug, which is a critical point. By using specific selection criteria, we have assets with high business and regulatory value. And the step 3 is the in vitro efficacy, for which we're using a disease-specific model, bringing a high clinical value to our selected asset. We have selected Rev604 for MELAS syndrome, for which we have in vitro efficacy, IP protection, advanced discussion with its owner for its acquisition, and a clear regulatory roadmap paving the way to a phase 2A in clinical trial. But we have one missing piece to go there, which is the phenotypic efficacy, for which we would like to be supported by the Jorge Ruas Award. So we have the Rev604, an asset with a high clinical and commercial value, ready for its preparation for a clinical phase 2A in patients. Using this process, we have many competitive advantages when compared to any kind of other drug development. We are accelerating the path to the clinical development. By the process we are using, the drug we are selecting, we are significantly decreasing the investment, and we are also significantly decreasing the development risk. Reventus' serviceable obtainable market represents 1.2 billion, which is the underexplored MELAS market. And I would like to finish by introducing the pipeline and the fundraising roadmap. I just presented you MELAS with our main asset, Rev604, that we would like to push forward to a clinical trial, and the use of the Jorge Ruas Award to initiate and validate the IND filing. Using this exact same process, we were able to identify also Rev702 for MELAS syndrome that we are willing to push forward as well in a co-development or collaboration method. So to support all this work, we have a management team of experts covering all aspects of drug development, and we are also supported by a world-class strategic and scientific advisors. And with that, I would like to thank you for your attention.
Tecnimede Open Innovation Competition.